Just do it!
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Fanalyst. This is your boy Fanalyst.
And you already know this your boy Authentic.
Let's get straight to it. Man, I know y'all been keeping up with these NBA draft prospects and this college basketball, but the most talked about player this year has definitely been Trea. But I need y'all questions and answers. Do y'all feel like he been overhyped? Like he started off great. These last few games, he been scrubbing. And in his last game he just played, he finally hit over 50% and double-digit assists, first time since January. So, do y'all believe in the hype, or he's going to be a bust?
I feel like he's just not as consistent as we need him to be. However, I do believe he's a lottery pick. There are some more professional freshmen that are out there that's better than Trea Young. It's just the hype for Trea Young is slowly diminishing. There's DeAndre Ayton, Bagley. There's also that one big boy from Texas. I keep forgetting his name.
Oh, yeah, Mamba. Yeah,
there you go. We still got Miles Bridges. He's still a great person, a great overall prospect for the NBA. So when it comes to Trea Young, it's not that the hype is diminishing all the way. It's a little bit of him not reaching that hype that everybody's expecting. They're over here expecting Steph Curry MVP numbers in college every game. He's still doing a great job for a collegiate player. It's just once he starts upping his game, we're going to see a new level of Trea Young.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's clearly one of the better shooters in this draft class. I mean, my top draft class, point guard for this draft class is definitely Jalen Brunson from Villanova. I feel like he's had the most consistent collegiate career and season out of anybody, really, and he got Villanova at the top of the game. DeAndre Ayton, I feel like he's a can't-miss prospect. So is Marvin Bagley and Mamba from Texas. I feel like those guys are legit the first top 4, top 5 players getting drafted in this upcoming draft. But Trea Young, yeah, I feel like with more work and the right team, he's going to reach that potential, and I feel like he's going to prove everybody wrong.
You know what's crazy? I got a good question for you, to be honest, Fanalyst. When it comes to the Boston Celtics, because I was looking into their team. Now, right now, their team isn't complete due to the Gordon Hayward injury. Would you say that they're one player away from being a dynasty franchise? And if they are one player away, is it based off of this draft or through free agency? And if it is through free agency, who do you believe that it is?
If I'm thinking about the Celtics right now, they're really just one player away. I feel like they've done good on the draft picks. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. I feel like Jason Tatum, he's a future star in this league. I feel like he proved to be the best scorer in this draft. And consistently, he's shown that throughout the year. Donovan Mitchell was a steal as well. But for the Celtics, I feel like free agency, and I feel like it's DeMarcus Cousins. I feel like he brings that next dimension where Horford, yes, he's a great player, but I feel like he's not bringing the ultimate potential in game that Cousins could bring. Cousins going to give you 30, 15, and 7. I feel like the scoring is most important where Horford doesn't give you that kind of ability.
And can you imagine if you have Horford coming off of the bench? That is a solid team because that kind of brings you back to the Miami Heat potential dynasty that they had with Shaq, Lonzo, and Doliak as a rotation for bigs.
Yeah, definitely. But if I'm the Celtics, I definitely strike for free agency this year. And I feel like that will put them over the hump for the Cavaliers.
All right, so when it comes to other big name NBA teams right now, like the Celtics and the Warriors, do you feel like the Warriors need to look into the draft for more role players, or do you feel like right now their team is set?
Nah, I feel like they definitely need to go back for some more role players. I mean, I feel like they are set starting wise, but I feel like what always put them over the hump was that Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Nick Young, even before David West, that bench kept them in games, and that's what they need. Iguodala's getting older. David West is almost 40. Sean Livingston at 6'7". I don't know how long his knees could last, but he's proven to be formidable and quality players. But I feel like the draft is definitely needed for this Warriors team. And this draft, to me, I feel like they can find a hidden gem.
Speaking of hidden gems, I have a question. Let's talk about a dirty gem right now. How you feel about this Zaza Pachulia character? Do you feel like he's honestly a good player or a dirty player? And when it comes to his role for the Warriors, do you feel like he's more of a scare tactic or he's more of a crucial player for the Warriors?
I definitely see him as a scare tactic. I don't think he's very that crucial for the Warriors. He's definitely a dirty player. If you really look at that video again, I remember somebody posted on Instagram that Nick Young's leg locked with his that caused Zaza to fall. But if you clearly look at it again, Nick locked legs with Russ, and they both fell, and then Zaza just happened to fall within the collision, which made no sense.
Made no sense at all. I just feel like he needs to be blacklisted in the NBA, but a lot of people are trying to compare his play to players in the 80s in the Bad Boy Pistons. But the one thing that they got to realize is the rules changed over these past 20 to 30 years. So when you're looking at the 80s, the late 80s and the early 90s compared to almost 2018 years, the rules changed a lot. And Zaza is not playing with these new generation rules. So for a player like him to still have a role on these 48-minute games, especially trying to take out the best player on each team, he has to get blacklisted to me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like he's getting away with a lot. And then you look at a player like Draymond Green, for every little situation, he's getting a tech called on him. And I don't even think Zaza got any techs or fouls called on him this whole season.
Which is ridiculous to me because the thing is, like, with Draymond, he's a very excellent defender. However, he's very aggressive. So when they look at his play, they tend to be more sensitive with the technical fouls, the flagrant fouls towards Draymond. But when they look at everybody else, for some reason, they just say, okay, it's part of the game. So when it comes to Draymond, a lot of people try to say he's a dirty player, but in all reality, he's just a very aggressive defender. And Zaza, he's just straight out a dirty player. So somebody like him, he just doesn't even deserve to be on the court, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I definitely feel you. But let's just talk about this upcoming NBA Hall of Fame. How do you feel about the finalists? This year's finalists are Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Grant Hill, Billups, Chris Webber, Maurice Cheeks. Just a couple to name a few. Tina Thompson for the WNBA, Katie Smith, a few coaches. Do you feel like anybody got snubbed this year at the finalists?
I'm trying to recall who are some of the potential snubs because I'm not all the way up to the snubs for the NBA.
I definitely feel like Steve Fisher got snubbed, the coach that coached the Fab Five and brought Michigan their first title.
Oh, wow. He hasn't reached the final NBA list yet?
Nope.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Who else?
I feel like Chris Webber got snubbed last year. I'm not to sound like a hater, guys. I just definitely didn't feel like Tracy McGrady deserved to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I felt like Chris Webber had an overall better career. He made playoff appearances, revolutionized college basketball with his freshman team, and made more Western Conference appearances. T-Mac had 6 good seasons? Chris Webber had way more.
Yeah, well, when it comes to T-Mac, he is a legend on his own turf. But if we're comparing him to Chris Webber deserved the first ballot before Tracy. But I really hope that Jason Kidd makes first ballot because I'm a huge Jason Kidd fan watching him grow up. I always hoped that he would win a ring. He did. He didn't win with the Nets, but he still won his ring. Unfortunately, it was against my team, but I really hope he deserves a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel like the locks for this year's Hall of Fame are definitely Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Ray Allen, Tina Thompson. I definitely feel like Kim Mulkey from Baylor, the college basketball women's coach, who's won multiple national titles with Baylor and continues to be a great coach within the women collegiate ranks throughout the last 10 to 15 years. And also she was a great player as well for La Tech. So I definitely feel like those people right there are a shoo-in for the finalists and the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's a good look. But I know that the All-Star weekend just passed, but let me ask you. So looking at some of the players who performed and some of the players who didn't even perform, like Jimmy Butler having the hangover of a lifetime, who do you feel like you would have wanted to see in the All-Star game that didn't get their opportunity to show their skills?
Definitely would have liked to seen Lou Will. I feel like he would have brought out some tricks with his scoring. I kind of felt like Dwight needed to be a All-Star. I feel like he's had a great season. Horford and LaMarcus, I don't feel like they didn't deserve it. I just felt like for the game itself, Dwight would have brought some more excitement because he still is athletic at his age, big-bodied, can jump really high and banging on people.
And don't forget Chris Paul. Chris Paul is having an MVP type year if he wasn't injured so much throughout the year.
Yeah, definitely Chris Paul. I felt like out of everybody, he definitely deserved it. But, I wasn't mad at the players who got selected. I just felt like for entertainment purposes, you got to get the players who are going to give you the most entertainment.
Especially Ben Simmons with his flashy passes. That was somebody that I thought through the injuries that started popping up towards All-Star, he would have got a reserve spot, but it didn't happen. But Ben Simmons is somebody that we're going to enjoy seeing in the All-Star games for the up-and-coming years.
Yeah, speaking of Ben Simmons, let's talk about these billboards Philly been doing, trying to recruit LeBron to come to Philadelphia.
Complete the process!
I feel like if LeBron leaves after this year, Cleveland fans, I don't feel like you should burn his jersey. He gave y'all everything y'all needed, our championship. Let him just go on and live his life.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like LeBron really have no obligation to Cleveland. He went back to a organization that shunned him, told him that he is a wimp pretty much, and with Dan Gibson, he was just Dan Gilbert, sorry. He was just basically telling him straight up, yo, you're somebody that we don't need. You're not a leader that we need, this, and that. And now he's just trying to get back on the LeBron chain due to the fact that LeBron is the greatest NBA player in the world right now.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like his time is up. He's from Akron. He's not even from Cleveland, so he has no ties to the city. I just feel like what he'll do for his career, I feel like he'll definitely get more rings if he goes to Philly. And what he'll do for Ben Simmons' career will be remarkable because he'll teach Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid how to win. And that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Definitely. And if the Sixers obtain another top 10 pick this year, which is doubtful, but there's still a possibility, they might be able to secure some rings in the future because they have an elite squad. And once Ben Simmons learns how to shoot outside of the paint, it's going to be a major problem for these NBA players in the future.
Could you imagine if they would have got Jason Tatum or Donovan Mitchell instead of Marcus Fultz?
It would have been ridiculous what they would have been doing. The numbers would have been crazy, especially if they had Jason Tatum, because they would have had the length and they would have had the scoring against all these teams. It's crazy how they missed out on Jason Tatum.
Yeah, definitely. I think they probably would be a higher seed right now if they had Tatum. But definitely, be on the lookout for the Sixers and definitely be on the lookout for this free agency upcoming this summer. Let's get back to the NFL free agency. Man, there's a lot of people on the market right now, from Kirk Cousins to Tremaine Johnson, and now, the Saints safety Vaccaro. Where do you feel like these guys should land right now?
Well, when it comes to Vaccaro, I just feel like if he wants to put paying to the Saints organization, he should go to the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers need a safety. Vaccaro knows that we need a safety. So if he comes in for a decent price, that would be nice. Another fit for Vaccaro would also be, if Earl Thomas or Chancellor is gone, the Seahawks. He would be a perfect fit for the Seahawks if they lose one of their Legion of Boom members. And another team that's a sleeper pick for him would be, in my personal opinion, don't be asleep on the Dallas Cowboys, because they are in need of a safety as well, and they might be willing to pay the big bucks for Vaccaro.
I mean, he did go to Texas, so hey, that might be a good look. But if I'm being a homer here, I would definitely like to see Vaccaro go to the New York Giants to be paired with Landon Collins. You know what kind of safeties we would have? That's dominance. We've been a new Legion of Boom with that kind of safeties.
See, now you gotta think realistic numbers right now. Like, I understand that you're a Giants fan and you want them to succeed, but we're talking about realistic fits with the pricing and everything.
Oh, I mean, definitely with the pricing, I definitely see him going to probably Dallas. I might even be surprised if he goes to the Texans, because they just let go of Cushings, and I feel like that defense needs just a little bit more revamp. I don't know what we're gonna see from J.J. Watt, and adding Vaccaro would definitely give them more time to rush the passer with Clowney and J.J. Watt. So that's how I feel. And with Tremaine Johnson, I feel like he can go anywhere right now. I definitely think he'll be a good look for you guys, because you guys really haven't found that person to really take over Josh Norman's role, or even the Redskins for Tremaine Johnson. I feel like the Redskins are in rebuilding mode, and you got to lock up that defense if you're trying to get a rookie quarterback.
Which is very true, but when it comes to quarterbacks, how do you feel about Kirk Cousins? Do you feel like the Broncos should take a move for Kirk, or do you feel like he should test the free agency for the biggest bidder?
I definitely feel like the Broncos should go after Kirk. I definitely feel like he's the choice. He's only, 29, 30. Still got another 7, 8 more years. I'm not saying I don't believe in any of the quarterbacks in this draft. I feel like with just the Broncos defense, you need a more reliable person, and Kirk's shown that. I really feel like with the Broncos pick, since I hear they're trying to get rid of Aqib Talib, I'm looking at Fitzpatrick from Alabama with their pick.
Yes, if they get Fitzpatrick, he's probably the best overall athletic defensive player in the draft, so he would be a good fit for the Broncos. If they do acquire Kirk Cousins, they have a veteran quarterback with an experienced defense that could take him to the Super Bowl, especially with Tom Brady turning 41 this year. We don't know what he's going to come out with this year with the Patriots.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, let's get back to these quarterback prospects as well. I feel like this is probably the deepest quarterback class we've ever seen.
It's been a while, yes.
Probably since, we watched that 30 for 30 with John Elway and Dan Marino, where like 7 quarterbacks got drafted in the first round. But this class, I feel like, has so many players that have so much high potential, not even just to talk about the typical Darnold, Rosen, Allen, and Mayfield, but I feel like the quarterback Rudolph from Oklahoma State, and I just feel like everybody needs to stop sleeping on Lamar Jackson. I feel like he's probably going to have the best career out of any quarterback in this draft, and I strongly believe that. Me as a Giants fan, it pains for me to say this, but I'm definitely thinking, Lamar Jackson to the Patriots.
Lamar Jackson to the Patriots would be something scary, especially if Josh McDaniels stay in the offensive coordinator position for the Patriots. Imagine him running the Patriots offense. That would be something that we would want to see for the next couple of years. But the one thing that I did want to see is Baker Mayfield take over the Arizona Cardinals, but his stock keep going up. So if he goes to the Jets or even to the Browns, that might be something that we'll have to see, because there's some mock drafts that have the Browns acquiring Barkley with the first pick and Baker Mayfield with the 4th pick. But you never know. We got to see what the Browns are thinking of this year. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like with the Browns, I feel like they definitely got to go with a quarterback. I feel like they got the running backs. I feel like now this is a passing league, so get the quarterback with the first pick. Fourth pick, I may even take a reach and go after Calvin Ridley with the fourth pick or trade back. I just feel like you just got to get the best players available. Or with the fourth pick, get Fitzpatrick, since you lost out on Joe Hayden, who's giving y'all everything in his career, and you traded him to a playoff team. I feel like now you go back to defense and pair Fitzpatrick up with that defensive line you're building.
Yes, that's something I completely agree with, Fanalyst. But when it comes to the Giants, since that's the team that you admire so much, what do you feel like they need to obtain in the first pick? Do you feel like they need to attack the running back position, or do you feel like they need to get the quarterback of the future?
I definitely feel like they need to get the running back. I feel like Eli still has a few more years left. Like I said, this is a deep quarterback class, so I wouldn't mind them getting Barkley in the first round, maybe even trading back into the first round and giving up probably next year or first round or second round to jump back in to get, say, a Rosen if he keeps falling, or I would still Lamar Jackson in the first. O-lineman wise, I definitely feel like we need to step that up. I feel like no O-lineman to me this year is a top 10, but they have potential. I would definitely come back in the first round to get some of the top linemen. I definitely like the lineman from Notre Dame and the offensive tackle from Texas. But as a Giants fan, I feel like the thing that helped us win the titles the most is that running game, and I feel like Barkley's the answer to those problems.
Not only he can run, he can catch as well. So that is something that you definitely need for an old Eli Manning. And then once you get your receivers back in the game, you will be a problem.
Definitely. And since we're talking about favorite teams, what do you feel like your Panthers need? Because, I mean, you guys were 15-1, and then you guys ended up losing twice to the Saints this year, who I know, since one of your best friends is a Saints fan, he just rubs it in your face all the time. So what do you feel like the Panthers need to just get over this hump?
Well, if we're being realistic, the Panthers need 3 major positions to be fixed. We need to work on our running game because we do not have a running back. We have a slot receiver from McCaffrey. We also need to work on our receiving game. We need an elite number 1 receiver. Funches is a great receiver, but he's not a number 1 receiver. And the other position that we need to work on is any position in the secondary. Like, we have Bradbury and we have Worley, but they still show exposing techniques because they don't have good foot technique. They don't have hand technique. And when they're going against receivers like Julio, Mike Evans, and Mike Thomas, we need a safety that can help protect them as well. So those are the 3 positions that we're looking at. But if I'm looking for specific players, when it comes to the safety position, I would love to get Derwin James. We can't get Fitzpatrick because he is top 5. But Derwin James is someone that I would definitely want. And when it comes to the running back position, if I could get a steal in the second round, I would take Juice. Juice from LSU. He's a solid 3-down back that could ground and pound. With McCaffrey, that would be something nice. And when it also comes to the receiver position, I would love to get the receiver from Texas A&M. What's his name again?
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk. I'm about to call him Kirk Cousins for some reason. But Christian Kirk is somebody that I would definitely want. He's a very skilled receiver, and he's also a good punt returner. So he's great with open field. So that's somebody that I feel like we could take advantage of. If we could get those in the first 3 rounds, that would be a great draft for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, you're talking about grabbing 3 potential first-round picks in the first 3 rounds. I mean, I love your dreams, but hey, you can only get one. Kirk, I definitely feel like he's the best receiver in this class. Not taking anything away from Ridley, I feel like Kirk came in with the ultimate, like, since his freshman year, just immediate impact on that Texas A&M team. It's just not his fault he lost quarterbacks. And Derwin James, I mean, he's another family of cousins because he has 3 cousins in the NFL. But I mean, I would definitely go trade all in for Derwin James to have him play safety for the Panthers, definitely. And definitely, Juice, you're really just saying that because you're an LSU fan. But hey, I understand.
If that's what you think, but Juice is a top 5 running back prospect in this draft. He has the size, he has the speed, and we don't need another flashy receiving back. We already have the receiving back. We just need to replace the ground and pound of John Stewart. So that's why I feel like that's someone we could get without having to reach. That's the only reason why I said that.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Definitely feel you on that. But like I said, at the end of the day, we can only hope. Well, that's another episode of Fanalyst. This your boy Fanalyst.
And you already know this your boy Rothenic.
Y'all hurry up and subscribe to the page. Check out your boy Rothenic.
Yes, check out my page once we get back on. It's Rothenic1, so hit it up.